Yo, what is going on, guys? This is Jacked by Joe here today, coming at you with first place OTS in real life locals DDD deck profile. So yes, I went 4-0 at a 14-person OTS locals, my locals. This is the first in real life event I took it to. We had a test locals. This is the other time I brought it. DDDs too. We had a test locals and it was like 6-person tourney. I can't really count that in because I don't even think it was recorded. It was just kind of like a test to see which day we wanted to do, a Sunday or a Tuesday. So there wasn't really many people that showed up for that. So I can't really count that in. It was just kind of like a for fun tourney, just having fun. And but this one was pretty, like, it was 14 people showed up. This is our biggest tournament yet because we upped our capacity to 14 people. So this is our biggest tourney and I ended up going 4-0. I was pretty hyped on that. Generally I wouldn't make like a first place locals deck profile, but since it's like the first in real life event coming back, I feel like it's pretty pretty decent reason to just kind of do a deck profile on this. And I haven't done a deck profile in a while. It's basically going to be the same, except there is some tech cards I'm playing to really help the meta like I always do. But these cards are really coming clutch, and the list that I've had for the last while is just a really consistent way to play the deck, while having the tech cards to be able to go second and even first, because the deck obviously doesn't have a problem going first as long as it's consistent. I'll go over my matchups right now. So round one was against my buddy playing Grand Maju 8-axis. So I won that in 2, but I'll go over what happened. It was pretty insane. I know he's gonna be watching this video because I got really lucky against him, but like, it is what it is, man. Like, game 1, he's obviously making me go first. He went die roll. I go first. I didn't go under D shifter, so I was good. Went into the full calamity combo. He was able to make a rank 8 on his turn, and that's about it. Like the Sanafon, that's all I could really do. But regardless, I had like 5 cards in hand on my follow-up with the whole like follow-up of the calamity, the dragon play, like the neck, like I had everything. So he just scooped. And then game 2, I had to play under D shifter, but I basically just set up for next turn, so I still had a full combo. And basically what happened was I talenced him, and what I did was he had like the Gizmek on board, so he already had a level 8 that he summoned, and I seen his hand, and he had 3 cards left in his hand. He had a Chaos Hunter, a Danger Thunderbird, and Alpha. So I took back Alpha because that's a for sure level 8 he's gonna have, and I don't want him for sure having X to level 8. So I was like, okay, I'm either gonna have to hit the Thunderbird, or if I don't hit the Thunderbird, I'll just scoop right here. So he drew, and I guess his draw was another Chaos Hunter. So he had 2 Chaos Hunter to the Thunderbird. Revealed the Thunderbird, I actually hit the Thunderbird, so that basically just ended his turn. He basically swung at me with the Gizmek, and that was pretty much it. And I go and I draw, and I have like full combo at this point in my hand, but my draw was called by the grave. So what he did, this is the reason why this draw was insane, was that he went Chaos Hunter effect when I tried to use the Swirl Slime, or before I used the Swirl Slime, he dropped Chaos Hunter, but his pitch was a Chaos Hunter. So that gave me actually a response time to drop the Call by the Grave on a Chaos Hunter. So at that point he knew it was over. I had the combo. Like, I just went Crystal Wing, Boral Sword, and I think I forget who else I had on board, but yeah, it was game at that point, like easily, to stop his Gizmek from coming back with Crystal Wing, you know what I mean? So anyways, round 2 was against Tri-Brigade Zoo, against John. John's a good player, you know what I mean? And Tri-Brigade Zoo deck really has, oh sorry, it was a Rescue Cat. It was a Rescue Cat build. So I lost the die roll, so I'm going second. I actually ended up just destroying the board. Like, he had the full combo, pretty much. He had the Appaloosa, the Revolt, and I forget what his other face down was, but he also had a hand trap, which was a Veiler. I was able to play through all of it and just kill him. I had a good, like, Chalice, like, I kind of spoiled it, but yeah, Chalice, of course I'm gonna have Chalice. The card just turns off Appaloosa, it's just nuts. So game 2, I kind of played it a bit around. I had a pretty good hand. I kind of played around. I had like a call by stuff in hand. I was kind of like waiting for him to do certain things, and I had a talent. So once he uses monster effect, and I had a full build board, I could have just taken a Shurag or something and just swung at him for game. The only thing was he had a droplet, so I was able to turn off all my guards, but the problem was all my cards were half, so I couldn't just kill him there. So basically I pushed him to, I think, 900 life points, and then he came back and I still had call by for a sure egg, but I didn't have enough draw because he still had an ash for me, and even though like I just didn't have enough gas, so I just scooped. Then game 3, I made him go second. I had enough time to just swing at him and then just proceed to combo until time ran out. So kind of a cheap way to win, but you know, it's the time rules are stupid, but it just works out like that. So I ended up winning that in 3. Then round 3, I played against my brother who was on, he'll be deck profiling this. It actually works pretty good. It's Fluffle, and he was undefeated at this point. It's Fluffle, Dragon Link with Dragoon, and the Buster Blader engine. It's a 60 card deck. It actually works really well. I ended up 2-0ing him though because I won die roll, and game 2, I just had like nib and Phantasmate, but he also nibbed me. It was kind of back and forth, but I was able to just kill him. So yeah, and he was able to summon the fusion, the Buster Blader fusion against me, which is pretty scary for me because a lot of my boss monsters I realized that are able to swing over are dragons. It's not too bad because I can like, you know, search Ragnarok, but he got me in a position where I couldn't really search it until like another turn, and he has a pretty good follow-up, so I had to like summon a Satellite Warrior, trigger some summons so I could just OTK him. But yeah, I took that in 2, and then last round was against Drytron. I won die roll. So that's literally all that is in that matchup. I wasn't even prepared for Drytron. All I had was Nibiru today because I was basically just siding for Tri-Brigade because I know a lot of people play Tri-Brigade at my locals and just in general. So that's kind of what I just built my side deck for, as building towards that can hit other things. I'll get more into depth about that later. But yeah, those are all my matchups. Like I said, took first, got 4 OTS packs, 6 Dawn of Majesty packs. Didn't pull anything that good, but yeah. Anyways, I think you guys are going to want to look at the deck profile now, so I'm just going to get right into that. Before I step into that, I'm going to be doing a Friday feature match. That'll be posted Friday, and I'm going to try to do that every Friday, post a feature match for my locals. Probably should have said that earlier. I don't know if you guys are all like listening to this at this point, but you know what I mean? If you guys are, there's going to be Friday feature matches from now on, as long as I have time to do it. I'm fairly busy during the week, but you know what? I always find ways, right? So yeah, I'll get right into this deck profile. I'll see you then. Alright, yo guys, so let's jump right into the deck profile. So start off with the main. You guys are gonna notice this is very similar to what I've been playing for basically the whole format, like the YCS and stuff. That's because it's just been the best way to play the deck through the format, and I have teetered some things as the format progresses. Like Tri-Brigade is like very well the most represented deck. So I do have cards in my main and side ready for that, but this extra deck is literally the same. But I'll explain as well for anyone who hasn't seen that stuff, like why I'm playing certain cards in the extra deck. And yeah, let's just jump right into this. So very standard, 3 Kepler, Stratos, 3 Swirl, 3 Necro, 3 Lamia, 3 Copernicus. This is like base standard if you're playing the combo. Copernicus, it could be at 2 if you wanted to. I want it at 3 when you have a lure. If you see 2 of this, you have a lure, you can just banish it. It's another card to banish, but it's also a way to like just start your combos. There is a bunch of times where like I can just normal summon this and then sends the Lamia, and then I can get Lamia that way, or just straight up chain blocks from Ghost Bell on your Genghis. So that's like kind of like one of the most important things is if your Genghis gets Ghost Bell, it kind of hurts you. So having Copernicus to chain block, that's really strong, right? Like if you have the Lamia engraved, helps keep your combo rolling really well. I think this is the most important time to chain block for a Ghost Bell, so that works really well. So yeah, play this at 3, but other than that, I don't really have to explain too much about this. If you're playing combo, it's always standard, but I feel like any build really of this, this is all standard, maybe outside of the Copernicus, and yeah, I think Lamia is always a 3 of 2, so yeah. So that's the count right there. So that's the 15 right there, the 15 base cards, and then I'm going double for the 2 ofs, double DD Ghost, double Ragnarok. So here's a theory I have behind this deck, is that half your deck should be DD monsters. In this build, I'm actually playing 40 cards, and I tried out 19. So this is 19 with the double Ghost, the double Ragnarok. Ended up being 19 cards. Like you have your 15 like standard cards, right? But then I ended up playing like 2 and 2, and I bumped this down to 2 for like the longest time now, and it's honestly just so good because I'll see this when I need it, and I'll never have to banish. It's not like a necessary card, but it is great. The reason why this card is great is because it literally, opening this with a Swirl Slime, like if you have Ragnarok, the reason why that deck is a really good matchup against Tri-Brigade is that if you have this and Swirl Slime, like just as your, like any two, like as these two cards plus whatever else you have in your hand, regardless, like this is turning off a Revolt because they're not gonna, if they are gonna respond, they're literally wasting a Shurag. But when you do this, you summon right away you're putting pressure on the board, summoning Big Genghis, and that's huge. Like you're turning off a Revolt. They have to have an Imperm or something face down. And as long as you've turned off their Appaloosa or they just don't have it, you're good to go. So really good to just see. So I like it at 2. And then Ghost, the reason why I like it at 2 is because it's very good for resource management. It's also a great card to open, but it's also because I think the Calamity combo, the only deck it really sucks against, I'd say, is Zoo. Zoo's not going to be around the next format, so I wouldn't really worry too much about it. But Ghost, every deck pretty much just dies the Calamity combo. Like, it's always my go-to combo. And I'll just go to Calamities, turns my opponent's turn off, then my follow-up's huge. Even if they do get around it, my follow-up is huge. Like, so I don't really care too much. And yeah, this card's just great for resource management. Like I said, you can just keep sending stuff for your follow-up. And when this card's banished, it just recycles. It's also tuners, so I'm playing 5 tuners in the deck. I kind of went over this previously, but I think playing 5 tuners is the good way to go about it, because you can at least, in theory, playing a 40 card deck, when you play 5, you should at least see 1 tuner. You also have a bunch of cards that dig, so you should always, like, basically always have access to a tuner. Outside of that, you're just bricking like any other meta deck would if you don't see it. So bricks happen in general in Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, so a 19 card monster count, and it's honestly worked pretty fine. Like, I just proved it in the tournament, and I had no struggles with the tournament with seeing, I actually didn't break the whole tournament. So yeah. So 3 gate, the 1 Swamp King for starting off the spells. Very standard. I always say you can play this at 2 if you want. Sorry, I just dropped the card. You can play this at 2 if you want. It's just an extender. It's a great way if you don't have access to a fusion. This is just a great way to start your plays, because you need to basically start with, you have to have a fusion to actually have a good board. So yeah, you can play that at 2 if you want. It's really up to you if you have the deck space. So yeah, onto the spells. Draw powers, 3 allure, 3 desires. Allure or desires in this build, in DDDs, I think you have to play at 3 because you want just the +1. In certain decks, like other decks, I think 2 is fine. But I think with DDD, like, you just need to play desires. It's like Gren Maju. They want to see desires. They don't really care. In this deck, you can draw 2 desires. You can still at least have access to the full combo, right? So not too bad. So 6 cards for draw power. Consistency, the other consistency card as well. Oh, okay. I found the cards I was looking for. So this build specifically, Where Art Thou at 3 super rares, so pretty nice. So 3 Where Art Thou, the reason why is because like if you have a card like Instant Fusion, for example, it was just synergized really well with the deck. Obviously, it can be awkward sometimes, but most of the time this card isn't awkward. So that's why you play. It just adds any of your combo pieces, right? If you have Instant Fusion, you pay 1,000 to special summon, and then this becomes Instant Fusion plus Where Art Thou is a free Kepler. With a normal summon, you don't burn, right? And you have protection from hand traps. So these 2 together are awesome. But I'll show you something really cool, right? So, so I was playing around with like a Dragoon variant for a while, actually. Like for about 2 weeks, I was playing this deck with Dragoon package, and it actually was doing really well. Like I was playing the online remote duels, and I was actually like getting 3rd place and stuff. Like it actually works really well and finds its combo. But I'll tell you why. So I think going ahead when Crossout Designator and stuff comes out, I'll be doing deck profiles. I'll be trying to play with what's reasonable with Designator, because obviously Designator is a huge card and it's going to be good for us, right? But here's a thing I found. So when you pair Jack in the Hand with Where Art Thou, obviously a lot of people know that this and Where Art Thou, if you're able to search a Kepler, is pretty well like full combo. But here's the thing, right? So if I'm playing Adhara, right? So I teched Adhara. Adhara is a card like a lot of people know about, right? But here's the thing: if you're playing Adhara, this is like more so a going forward thing, because I might just be cutting the desires and stuff to find room. And I find this is a really good 2-card combo, because what you can do, right, is a lot of the good players will take a Kepler, so you can go Jack in the Hand, and then you can do Jack in the Hand, reveal if you really want a Kepler, right? reveal the Adhara, the Kepler, and like something else, maybe a Necro Slam or whatever, right? But a lot of the good players might just be like, okay, I'll take Kepler. Like all the good players always see that this is a Stratos, they take the Kepler. Like it's like 90% of the time they take Kepler on me. So if someone's gonna take a Kepler on me, what I can do is like take Adhara, special summon Adhara, so I haven't normal summoned yet. Where Art Thou gives me a Kepler, so I'll take a Kepler and normal summon it. So right away, this is still giving me access to a Kepler while I have a free tuner on board. So Adhara is actually a really good card. I think going forward, this might be the wave with Jack in the Hand and the Where Art Thou. Just because we're going to have to find room to play Designator. I'm going to play around with Designator a bit, but I think this might be the new wave. So yeah, it honestly worked really well when I played that with the Dragoon package. And I think in the pure build that's more consistent, that will work really well going forward. So I'm going to try playing that around more once I get Designators, once I decide to order the card. It'll have to go down a bit first, obviously, but yeah. So yeah, that's a cool thing I found playing the Dragoon package in this deck for a while. I think like I said, going forward, that might be the wave. So yeah, we'll see. And then the talents, the call by, and the instant fusion. These are all just answers to hand traps. This going second against Tri-Brigade is just insane. This going second against Tri-Brigade is insane. Going first, this instantly shuts out any hand trap that isn't any hand trap that isn't a Nibiru. And Talent's just amazing card. It's either you draw two, but I find most of the times I'm actually ripping a card on my opponent's hand or taking a card on their field going second. And Call By is just such a sacky card. It's just crazy, this format. Now with the way the decks are, you start to realize why this card's at 1, and we're also getting crossouts. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So for now, 5 answers to hand traps might be more in the future. I gotta really find the deck space for that. But I will have a deck profile for that out after the Megatons release. So yeah. 1 for 1, and then the last tech card I'm playing, Double Chalice. So Chalice was probably the MVP card for me. When I played against my brother playing the Fluffles, he actually had a play where he actually would have probably been able to follow up and kill me if I didn't do this. So he was able to Scythe when I kind of had like a week. I was just kind of going in to like kill him, but I was kind of relying on all the cards I had. So he tried going Scythe to pop one of my cards, and what I did was I Chaliced the Frightful card, the Whale, Cruel Whale, but that's not like the only thing. Like I'm saying, like it's just the good thing is like when I played Tri-Brigade, I turned off the Appaloosa, and the insane thing about Chalice is that for one, it's chainable, right? Obviously, but the thing is, it doesn't care about chain blocking, so they can summon a Shurag, and this isn't once per turn either. So they can summon a Shurag. And then when they do all this chain blocking, you can just drop a Chalice, turn off the Shurag. It just kills Revolt, and then you can just kill them. So, like, you can go, like, it's just crazy. Like, with all your going second cards, you usually have this paired with something else. Chalice is just such, I think in this deck for sure, it's better than Imperm. I think it's very insane, this format, just because you don't really care about, like, what they're building up to be. You just care about what's actually on their board. So, like I said, you just turn off an Appaloosa, you don't care, you kill them. So, yeah, Chalice is amazing. And it's also, if you have combo, you can just set this. If you have, like, a mediocre board, like maybe 2 negates or whatever, or you're just pulling for your Calamity combo, just set Chalice and you have another, it's like a free negate, right? So, very versatile in this deck. Chalice is just the best tech card right now, I find, and works really well. I'd rather be playing this than, like, a 38-card deck with the Upstart Into the Void, so yeah. That's a 40-card solid main deck. Like I said, Chalice is the MVP for me, so yeah. Just before I put that away, here's all the going second cards, just to kind of show you guys like what's up here. So this is why this deck actually does pretty well going second. It has all this to it, and even Call by the Grave is really good, turning off a certain or getting rid of the link if they haven't successfully summoned it too, like against Tri-Brigade. So yeah, all really good cards going second. So yeah. And it also just helps with consistency, right? So yeah, works really well going second. So. Yeah, anyways, so that's 40 cards solid, extra deck. Not gonna go too in depth with this. So exact same extra deck I was playing for the YCS. It hasn't changed because this is all, I think it's just the best way to play it right now. Given what we have, double Genghis, Big Genghis. Big Genghis is just insane against going second against Tri-Brigade, just the MVP card. Restrict, same thing, doesn't care about chain blocking. It just sucks up any monster it wants, gains the attack, really puts pressure on board with the instant fusion, and it's just a protection card, right? So going first or second is just a really good card. Except for the fusions, level 7, Alexander standard, 8s, Your boss monsters right here, Chaos Ruler, Crystal Wing, Siegfried, your level 8 bosses, and then your Virtual World QB Fox Shen Shen. Shen Shen is just a great card. I actually think I only made it once this tournament, and that was just to go into climb into a satellite warrior to pop my brother's the fusion, the Buster Blader fusion. Shen Shen it's a good card. It's pretty good. Obviously, it still hurts a lot of decks. It's more so a toolbox card that I can when I'm in like a weird situation, or if my opponent's in a weird situation, I see that like if I think they have like some like a kit or something, like there's their only way to do plays or something, for example, like they have kit, you have Shen Shen, that they can't like really do much, right? Like because it's just gonna get banished. Like certain situations like that. Just more so like the spare toolboxy card. It's not insane right now, but I think it's still worth playing just because it has a recursion effect too, right? So it's very easy to make in this deck. Helps you keep grinding. So yeah. And then the Halka Fireback stuff, Formula, Calamity, Satellite Warrior. It's just I go into Calamity so much now. It's just a game-winning card. So yeah. And then Satellite Warriors there. So yeah. Another thing. So I'll get into the links here. Cross Sheep, Halk, Boral Sword. Boral Sword just wins you tons of games. Halk. And then this is the thing about Cross Sheep. So Cross Sheep, if you guys watched my last game, there was a chance where I could have, I started building towards something else, like when I tried to pop his stuff. The thing was, I had the Genghis up with, I forget what other card, but they were both boosted. I think it was the Crystal Wing. The Crystal Wing was, or I had Chaos Ruler. These cards were both boosted. So literally all I had to do was swing over them. And the reason why that's kind of big was I started putting damage counters on my cards now, so I just remember, because when you are grinding in a game, you will forget that if you don't have stuff like damage counters. I usually do remember, but there is some situations, obviously, where that'll come up where I might forget, because the 700 boost is pretty big, so I started putting damage counters on my cards, so yeah, that kind of helps, right? So yeah, like I said, exact same extra deck for the YCS. It's just what's been working this whole format, and recursion's huge this format, so if you can keep up with the recursive stuff, yeah, it's not really a problem. So the side deck kind of random because I just kind of had it built for Tri Brigade and like maybe Rogue. So yeah, Nib, this actually was like the most sided in card because you know, like Rogue and like Drytron is my only card to side in. And Phantasme, it's really good against my brother because he's playing Dragon Link pretty much, and Phantasme just searches out the Nib when they have like a bunch of links. Pretty crazy. So yeah, that came up as well. Phantasm is just amazing against Tri Brigade too. You draw 3, find all your outs, you win. Pretty much how it happens. Evenly, let's put all the cards I have here for Tri Brigade. So evenly matched, Phantasme. These kind of like counter each other. Evenly matched is a really good way to out back row as well. That's why I'm playing it. And you can either see this or this. Phantasma will usually just shuffle back the evenly, so that's why I'm just playing evenly as well. It's actually, the side deck, like I said, is kind of random. I wanted more Contact Seas, but whatever. Chalice, Lancia, Contact Sea. I'd like to play like 2 Contact Seas and like a Chalice, maybe not Lancia. Contact Seas is a really good way to just literally stop Tri Brigade from doing anything, like grabbing a Revolt or whatever. And Chalice, the third Chalice, I want to see Chalice against Tri Brigade every time. Just an auto win card pretty much. If you have 2 in your hand, you still have combo. You shut off Appaloosa and Shurag, that's all you care about, so yeah. And the last 3 are like really random. Radiant was like last second, and then Red Reboot and Orthros. Orthros could probably start maining this in the next format, we'll see, with the certain decks coming out of the boat and stuff. And Reboot because I know there's some trap decks sometimes at my locals, so thought my buddy was going to be playing Salamangreat or something, guess not, so yeah. But yeah, so like I told you, there's 9 cards here for Tri Brigade because I don't want to. Tri Brigade's so common, and a lot of these cards inherently hit other decks. Like this is Dragon Link and stuff. This hits back row decks. Chalice is good against random decks too. Lancia's Dinos, I guess, and then Contact Sea is good against Prank Kids. We actually have a couple of Prank Kids players at our locals too, so I kind of wanted another one. So yeah, but it is what it is. Anyways, guys, that's the list that got me first place this Tuesday at my local tournament. So yeah, I hope you guys like that. And like I said, not too much difference with the list because it's been working really well for me this whole format. And the double Chalice has really just made this deck put in work. I mean, it really helps the deck go in second against Tri Brigade. Tri Brigade's honestly a very decent, like decently easy matchup for me. I don't usually lose to Tri-Brigade just because this deck really has a really good chance going second with cards like Chalice, Talents, Instant Fusion, and you have Big Genghis access instantly. Yeah, this deck just really, I think that's why this deck's been doing pretty good this format, is because Tri-Brigade is a pretty easy matchup for it. Easy, but you know. So yeah, anyways, that's the deck profile, guys. I hope you guys like it. And like I said, once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll be giving away that mat and the Ulti Halka 5-rack. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys like this again, and I'll see you later. See you.